Welcome, people, as you're coming in here. Don't forget to say hello. Trying to get logged in here myself. Shoot. Crazy. Maybe know where my phone went? Oh, it's over there. Can you hand it to me, please? Hey, Edward, how you doing? Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm still trying to get set up in here. Just got off work today and took my daughter to orientation school today. And man, try to get in here as fast as I could. I like to start doing these live streams at 5 p.m. if I can every day. Today we might be able to go a little bit longer. Depends on the audience for today. Edward, if you have any input, we're going to be talking about what's going on in D.C. and, of course, sanctuary cities, legal immigration. Everybody loves illegal immigration. For one reason or another. All right. Should be able to see you guys coming as you come in. Thursday night, live from Washington State. What a beautiful day. Let me know if you have any questions, Edward, since you're the first one in. We're gonna see if we can get something going tonight. If not, I'll just do the live for myself, apparently. The mayor of Boston doubled down on defying ICE and Trump. Yeah, a lot of Democratic mayors and governors are doing that. So it's a really. I try to be careful on this subject, right? It's a very, very touchy subject. But, I just came back from my kids' school and I saw just hundreds, if not the majority of the kids in there, they're Hispanic parents. And of course, there's other, ethnicities on there, but it's mainly Hispanic parents in the school. And, this is the reason why people, from one side, people want to they feel bad for those families, if they get broken up and this and that. And I talked to my daughter and I was telling her, I was like, look, baby, I said, you see a lot of Hispanics on there. I said, maybe there's a lot of illegal Hispanics in there. What's going on, Ozzy? Thanks for joining, brother. Always good to see you. But I say, you see all those people in there, right? You see a lot of Hispanics. They might be illegal. And I'll tell you something, baby. I said, you don't look at them any less. You look at them as if they are citizens, just like you. But if ICE comes, or if they get deported, you try to be supportive with the family, but they still have to respect the law. It's very difficult to see your friend being deported or things like that, right? It's hard. But two things that I think are very major, and this is one of the reasons. There's many reasons why I'm against illegal immigration, but one of the reasons is, one, you're breaking federal law, you're breaking our immigration law, and then you are working, right? So either you work under the table or with a permit, it doesn't matter. You cannot work here unless you have a permit to work and you're authorized to work. And so they're breaking the law twice already. And then they go and they don't use their real name, obviously, right? So most people don't use their real name at first, at least. And so they grab somebody else's identity, or they make up a new identity, and that's fraud, and that's a felony. And so you have three things that they're breaking the law three times, right? And this is why you see, like, when you see a lot of drunk Hispanics on the freeway or whatever, right? We have all that, in my time when I drank, I have driven drunk before, and it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing, and so I don't do it, obviously, but I have done it before, And the thing is, like, I know that it's bad, so I can stop it, right? I know something is illegal, so I stop doing it. And I have made my mistakes. Of course, everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But, to come in here, you break the immigration law, come in here illegally, and then you commit fraud by grabbing somebody else's identity or giving a false name. And then you commit fraud by working illegally or under the table because you don't have permission to work. And that's another permit in itself. And so when I hear blue cities, blue states with sanctuary cities saying, they're paying taxes, they're working, they're not supposed to be working, period. That's the whole point of it. And so a lot of people don't make that argument, but they forget, And I think that, hey, Daniel, what's going on? Give me a sec, brother. The other thing that gets to me is, like, why are you getting mad at this country for, this is the law. Like, what did you expect? Did you expect to come to this country illegally, and then all of a sudden every American's going to say, you know what, we got laws, but who cares? Just break them. No big deal. If you're willing to come here illegally and commit fraud and work illegally, you are more than likely to drive drunk, which is illegal. You are most likely to commit a crime, and you're already breaking the law and you're getting away with it, so why not commit the next crime and then the next crime? I think that it's like a domino effect. Now, I remember a long time ago, they did this in the 90s. They supposedly, I thought it was still in effect, but supposedly in order for somebody to hire you, what's going on, Morning Star? I am an Israel supporter because my God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So of course I got to support Israel. It doesn't matter how much they misbehave. They will pay for it, but in God's time, not ours. I don't wish any evil on anybody or any country. So it doesn't matter if I support Israel. I support Israel because Israel gets attacked by everybody. Literally everybody. Everybody hates Israel. And I don't care how much you hate a country. You just don't go attacking innocent people. Period. Okay? So, yes, soy frijolero. I am a beaner. I love my beans. I'm in a diet, so I haven't been eating beans for a while, but I love my beans. When I go to Honduras, I break that diet. But, people don't realize that there is a lot of harm being done. Plus, there is a lot of migrants that are waiting for papers that because of all these millions of illegal immigrants that have come here, now they can't get papers. It's their fault. And if you're Hispanic, you should be pissed. You should be pissed. You have ruined somebody else's future. Because when people are selfish and they only think of themselves, they come to this country, you break the law, you don't respect the people, you insult them. You come into this country, you don't care what happens to this country. Not only are you a jerk and you are destroying our country, you are destroying other people's opportunities. Other mothers and fathers with children that really belong in this country. Because of you coming here illegally, they have to pay the price. And you should take some responsibility from that. I will say, Edward, block somebody, huh? Already, man. Greg, can't come illegally, just come legally. So a lot of people say, well, if they want us to come here legally, they should make it easier for us to get here legally. That's not how it works. Let me tell you something. you need a driver's license to drive. It doesn't mean that we're going to give you, or they should give us a driver's license to drive because I need one to drive. No, 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 no. First of all, you need to learn how to drive. Second of all, you got to study for your test. Learn the laws, learn the signs. And when you got that and you turn 18, you can do it before if you take driver's ed. But once you're 18, you can go do that driving test. And once you earned it, which takes years, 18, takes years, then you can have a license. But only if what? If you pass the driving test and the written test. So don't give me this bull crap that you can come here illegally and that's okay. No. El que quiere celeste que le cueste. No sean mamones. You know, a lot of Hispanics that come here the right way, they believe that they want to come here so they can live the American dream, but they also want to live like the patriots of the Americans that we have here in this country. People that don't respect that, I have no respect for them either. But all I know is that they are guilty of other families not achieving the American dream. They are guilty for people that have been in this country for 40 years waiting for those papers. And because their selfish ass wanted to come here illegally, not respecting the law, now all those people that have been waiting are being deported. That's their fault. That's the illegal immigrants that come here, that's their fault. And that's any American or any other person that supports illegal immigration, it's your fault. That people that have been waiting in line for years trying to do the process the right way, now they don't get papers. So I hope you're happy for that. Now tonight's topic is, is obviously immigration is one of the biggest things that people want to talk about, but it's really bothering me today because I see a lot of people that have been entitled with it. And, we hear Governor Bob Ferguson here in Washington State telling illegal immigrants that they don't have to go anywhere. He says, this is where you belong. Now, Edward mentioned something. It was you, right, Edward, that talked about the mayor? I'm going to say this. If you harbor a fugitive, any illegal that is here undocumented, you see, we say illegal aliens. For some reason, these Democrat leaders, they like to use the word migrant. They're not talking about legal migrants or immigrants. They're not talking about legal ones. They're talking about illegal ones. A lot of you out there, you think that illegals cannot get service like medical, like food stamps. You think that they can't because technically they're not supposed to. But these governors in Sanctuary City, for some reason, they do something that you probably don't even know. They take your money, American taxpayers' money, and they use it as an NGO. And they set aside billions of dollars to provide free benefits to illegal immigrants. And what do illegal immigrants do when they come here? They start making their babies right away. Anchor babies, anchor babies, anchor babies, anchor babies. They are the ones translating for their parents at the store. They are the ones translating for their grandparents at the store. There's nothing wrong with kids translating for their moms or their grandparents. Maybe they're just visiting. But the fact of the matter is that here in Washington, we have a lot of illegal immigrants. And you know what? Cost of living has gone up very, very high. In the last few years, housing has gone up very, very high. Lamar, welcome, Lamar. DMC, Gustavo, welcome, welcome. Tessius, or Titius, I don't know how to say that name. Groove Machine, Venividi, welcome, Venividi. Retracted message. Probably say something bad that you shouldn't have said. I appreciate retracting. So here we go. Edward asked me a question and he said, so should mayors or even governors, should they go to jail if they don't comply with federal law. Let me tell you something. I understand that we have governors and we have mayors in our cities. That's okay. But we have a president for a reason. And the president is in charge of federal law. Now, we have to respect state law. Every law-abiding citizen should respect state law, 100%. But when the state is breaking federal law, the leader, the governor, the senator, or the mayor of that city or state, where they break federal law, they should be in jail like a criminal. If you harbor a thief, a murderer, or somebody that has a warrant for their arrest, in this case, if you're harboring illegal immigrants, that is a federal crime. You will go to jail. If you are an American and you're hiding illegal immigrants and you knowingly know, you absolutely know that they're illegal, you can possibly go to jail if you don't let those people go. So it's very clear that the governor, at least here in Washington State, the governor is willing to fight. Now, what maybe most of you guys don't understand is when they fight, when the governor of your state fights, it's not their money that they're using. It's our money, the taxpayers' money. That's what they use when they want to fight. So of course it's easy for them to say, "Oh, we're not going to back down. Hey, give me some more money. I had to go fight. Give me some more money." That's how they do it. They're not using their own money. They don't use their money. They're using the taxpayers' money. That's why they say, let's go to court. They spend billions of your dollars fighting shit that they're not supposed to be fighting. Thank you, Dean. There is some stuff that we as Americans can do, and that is to support our president. There are, like I said, there is state laws, but there's federal law. And like Pam Bondi said on that letter, you better comply or we're going to court. And I think that when they go to court, they're going to find that the federal government is correct. You cannot hide behind a fake truth. If you hide them, you are guilty of harboring criminals. I know a lot of people think that I'm just heartless. No, of course, I feel for them. I love them. I want them to stay here, but I cannot, in good conscience, sit here and allow people to blatantly break the law. It doesn't work that way. If you're a hard worker, go back to your country. Go work hard for your country. Make your country great again. All these Mexicans that are here with pride saying Mexico, go back to Mexico. Make it great. Why isn't Mexico great enough for you to live in it? Why are you here? If you're Salvadorian, why are you here? This ain't your country, why are you here? Easy question. Moises Mendoza says, go back to your country then. It's a simple answer, right? David, 100%, make El Salvador great again. Absolutely. You know, I don't think it's fair for people to come and abuse the rights of others because they want to get ahead. We have enough problems here of our own. We have enough criminals that we need to take care of. Washington, D.C. You know, my parents are dead, but thanks for asking. No, Richard, I'm not Dominican. And any accusation that you have against Trump, unless you have proof, just keep your mouth shut. That's all I'm gonna say, right? He's been clear of everything. So whatever people want to say, all this crazy talk about reparations for blacks, like most of the people now today were their ancestors were slaves. What an ignorant subject. Blacks and whites own slaves, and they still make that argument today. Illegal immigration does not help a country. Democrats want illegal immigrants not because they love them. They want those high quantities to come in here because that's how they stay in power. I'll give you the biggest example. I know my governor in this state of Washington is a piece of junk. But Newsom in California, that guy has pooped all over California, a once very great state. He has burned it to the ground, literally. He is such a horrible governor, and the mayor is even worse. That lady is crazy. She has no idea what country she's in. They have ruined California so bad that many people are leaving. And there is businesses that bring a lot of money to California that will also be leaving. It sucks because California is a nice place. It really is. But they ruin it. And why do they want millions of illegal immigrants? Because they get congressional seats. And it doesn't matter how crappy of a job that they do, they can stay in power. You guys know Newsom, it's Nancy Pelosi's nephew, right? The whole family is corrupted. It's crazy. You go from Nancy, the corrupted old lady, and then Newsom, which over there with his bleached teeth, and I'm not hating because mine are not bleached, he thinks that he's a Hollywood actor, which if he really believes that, he's a shitty actor. He's the worst actor I've seen. He tries to play like Donald Trump. He will never be Donald Trump. And all you guys here from the other side say all these things about Donald Trump, but every Democrat wants to be just like him. Oh, man. Let's see what you guys are saying over here, you nosy bastards. Dean says, ignorant. Javier Torres, you are not enough. The accent. Why do people always talk about my accent, man? Jeffrey Epstein, good driver, America. America first. America first. Let's see. That rule says, what does that rule says? Nobody wants to be like Trump. Yeah, you do. I know you want to be like Trump. You want to be successful, respected, and loved. That's what you want to be. You want to be a great dad. You want to be a great grandfather someday. You want to be like Trump. Don't be lying, Dad Rules. I know you want to be like him. Stop lying. Ron says, first MAGA. I agree. Number one. Hoodridge says, Daddy gave him $430 million. Do you remember when he was $900 million in the hole? He could have gone bankrupt, like completely bankrupt, not the regular bankrupts that you can bounce from. He was $900 million in the hole. None of you suckers can get out of that hole. I can't even get out of a $20,000 hole. But Donald Trump made those $900 million negative money into $9 billion. So go ahead and suck it. That was for you, Dad. Dad Rules wants to be like Trump, successful. I said something on one of my videos before Trump was elected, and it wasn't a political view, it's just a comment that I made on my video. And I said Trump needs to win, and I think he's going to win. This country needs a businessman. And even though Donald Trump has a lot of losses under his belt, he's got all these bankruptcies. He has all these lawsuits. He has all these problems with Playboy, with whatever, what's her name was, that got millions of dollars off of him. He's got all these people problem from back then. Nobody acknowledges all the stuff that he's done from New York and for all the black people and all the black community. He has all this negative stuff that he has failed in life. He failed so much, right? I'm agree with you guys. Donald Trump has failed so much in life at everything. Maybe at fatherhood, maybe at grandparenthood. He has failed as a husband multiple times. Donald Trump has been the worst person on earth. And you know what that tells me? He has a lot of experience on a lot of stuff that we can mess up on. And what I see today, I don't see that. Edward, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You're the man. I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like me saying, okay, well, all the mistakes that I made in my life, I'm a scum. I'm a bad dad. I'm a bad son. I will never amount to anything. I should just give up. Oh my God, what should I do? Life is not fair. I am such a horrible person. I remember one time I kissed that girl and she wasn't my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And that one time that I got molested, and well, now I'm not clean and something's wrong with me, and I can never do anything. I can't do anything in life. That's the attitude that you guys want Trump and all of us patriots to have. You want us to be quitters. You want us to be losers. Well, guess what? We are not losers. As the song says, we are the saints that fall down and get back up. It doesn't matter our past. Our past does not determine who we are today, but our future depends on the present that we have received today. Another day, and you decided to hate somebody. How about you grab the next present that you get and start loving somebody and start showing some respect and start respecting the law in this country? How about you do that instead of trying to tell somebody that they're nobody, to just give up because your life in the past was so horrible? You should just forget about it. We're going to keep judging you for the rest of the time. Until we die, we're going to judge you for the mistakes that you have made in this world. That's not how it works, sucker. For as long as we live, we have a chance to change our lives. And here I am today. I say love and respect and honor the United States of America, because that is the reason why you are here, because it is the greatest country in the world. Come over here and start bitching and complaining that illegal immigrants are getting deported. Oh, it should just be the criminals. Which I already told you. You broke the law coming here illegally. You broke the law working illegally. You broke the law committing fraud with fake documents. Somebody got my freaking documents, full name, social security in California. So F you if you support illegal immigrants. I don't care what you think. I love people. But if they are in a place where they don't belong, they gotta go. Simple as that. And somebody said, well, what if it was your brother? Well, if my brother got deported, I'll help him as much as I can. But he's got to go. Him and his whole family, they got to go. See, there is no option. Either you're all in for the United States or you're out. And if you're not in to respect the laws of this country, get the hell out. It's as simple as that. I don't understand what the problem is. You got 40 MS-13 gangbangers arrested in Washington, D.C. And what do I see over there? I see a bunch of idiot, ungrateful, probably just illegals, but I'm going to say ungrateful Americans booing our vice president, booing our secretary. And in the meantime, it's like, okay, what are you booing? What do you want? You want your criminals to go rampant? Do you like criminals in your streets? Do you see that even though D.C. is a small population place, even though they have the maximum police, they can't stop everything? 51 arrests in one night, that is crazy. They can say, yeah, the violence has gone down, this percentage. They can say all they want. But the reality of it is that they can fix those numbers. They cannot report some stuff. And how do we know that that's real? Because the moment that the National Guard went in there, the good police officers that cooperate, they are thankful that they are there because they know that there are number huge. 40 MS-13 gangbangers in D.C., illegals, free criminals that should be back in El Salvador. Yeah, I don't give a shit if they have a cold floor. If you don't want to be in a hellhole of a prison, don't commit the crime. There's a deterrent. You know how you don't go to prison? You respect the law. You don't break the law. A lot of Americans are over here, and I know it's because they have a good heart, but they have it on the wrong place. You don't have pity on criminals. You teach them from when they're young. And as they grow up, they know that they're not supposed to do something. And if they do it, it's because they're criminals. You don't reward a criminality. You reward good behavior. I can't believe these people don't go on the street and do a strike against gangbangers. They don't do that. There is a name. There's some words that I want to use. I'm just going to call those people fools, hypocrites. And this is what the Bible says about what we are fighting. We are not fighting people. We are fighting demons. It's a spirituality thing. You know what I hear when they're booing the vice president, and you know that the vice president is there to support the military, the National Guard, which is an American National Guard, by the way. You shouldn't be ashamed of them. You shouldn't be afraid of them. You should be saluting them. You should be trying to help them. You should be waving at them. You should be thanking them. You should be honoring them. Listen to what they say and do it. Let them know that you support them. Let them know that you also are a patriot. That even though you love everybody, if somebody's committing a crime, they gotta pay. You need to stop hating the National Guard because they are us. The police officers are us. There's no reason for you to hate authority. They're here for us. You know, I hear CNN all the time. Oh my God, oh, the authoritarian. Oh, the military, oh, how awful. What? Bitch? The military is awful? Hell no. We got the most powerful military force on earth. We flexed a B-2 with 6 jet fighters when Putin came over here. We are nobody's bitches. If anything, they're ours. That's a line from The One with Jet Li. He goes up to the top of the mountain when he goes to prison and he says, I'm nobody's bitch. You are mine. Man, I love that movie, by the way. But that's the way that we are in the United States. We're nobody's dogs, female dogs. I try not to curse so much. It's crazy that I have a lot of people that are from El Salvador. They love El Salvador. They're proud Salvadorians, but they're part of the good side of the Salvadorians, not the gangbangers, not the corrupted. And they love Salvador, but they're Americans now. And guess what? They respect America. They honor America. Yeah, they're Salvadorians, but they're badass people. These are people that respect the law. And then you have the other side, which is the dark side. The ones that don't respect the law. The ones that just keep popping out babies. And what do? They just mooch off the government. They live off food stamps. They don't go to work. But they get their hair did. But they can go to the club and drink alcohol. They can afford to have somebody watch the kids while they go to the club and party on EBT. But they can't go to work. Nah, man, there's 2 different kinds of people on this earth. It's going to be the law-abiding ones that work hard, that actually do something for this country. And there's going to be those that are lazy, don't want to work, and they want to break all the laws. And that's not how it works. Now, I can't read everybody's comment, but I try to read some, okay? Aaron Williamson says, family first. Aaron, I don't know what that means to you. But I said yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, on the live from yesterday, I said that if I was to choose between having money and my mother next to me as a kid, 200,000%, I would choose my mom any time. Because my mom was alive, it doesn't matter if all we had was beans to eat. It didn't matter. I had my mom. It didn't matter if I only had 2 pence to wear to school, my uniform. It doesn't matter. I will get up in the morning and I'll grab my shoes and I'll start shining my shoes. I brush my hair and I tuck my shirt in and I put my belt on. That's discipline. You know what these fools do over here in America and now in our countries down there? They sag their pants like they're in jail waiting to get poked from behind. They don't know that's what that means. People sagging their pants all the way down to their knees. You see the crusty underwear, at least wash that ass. They're out there just being so lazy, so disrespectful, and just so ghetto. The black community, not the good people, the black community that complains about, is the white man's fault, the black on black crime. You listen to any rap song. They don't say go kill Whitey. They say go kill the niggas. That's what they say. They say kill each other. They say I'm gonna sell more drugs than you. I'm gonna have more hoes and tricks than you. That's what they say. And that's what they're proud about. No. When you're doing something wrong, you gotta admit it. Hey, listen, I'm gonna do things the right way. Where can I start? Well, first of all, the more time you spend here, the worse it's gonna be from where you're from. And if you make children here, it is your fault for what they're gonna have to go through if you get deported. Simple as that. So these people that are in Washington, D.C., disrespecting the National Guard, what a shame. What a shame. And from what I heard, it's not even the real residents of D.C. This is people that have driven and flown from different places to make these little stupid protests. We know the name of the game. What's crazy is I've seen the same protesters in 3 different states. Isn't that crazy? They get paid to go around the country protesting. These people think we're stupid. But I'm gonna say something. I know that conservatives they kind of respect the law, so they keep themselves in check. But that doesn't mean that they're not pissed. That doesn't mean that they want this country to be, respected and preserved to the best. Doesn't mean American patriots over here. Sorry about that. I'm looking at the chat and I hit the wrong button. I think that a lot of American patriots look at this country and be like, man, I wish I can do more for it. But they are so trying to be peaceful about it that they don't go off on the bad Americans. We had a civil war already. We didn't win. It was an Americans against Americans. And these people that come here illegally, they don't care. They don't care that your people died. They don't care that the blood of the Americans and the Mexicans is what drew the borders between the United States and Mexico. They don't care about that. And that's the problem. Luis, I wish Trump was my dad. I think I would be very successful and rich right now. And I will be helping a lot of people as well. That's how my mom taught me to be. So I watch stuff says real American right here. Preacher brother. Thank you so much, bro. Much love. I appreciate it. Wait, can I click on this? Oh, man, I didn't even know. You got my love, man. Thank you so much. I don't understand why, like, if they want to be in this country, right? Listen, hey, let me tell you something. If you're illegal, just shut up. Shut up about it. Don't let nobody know you're illegal. If you're over here hating on somebody that says, respect the law of the United States of America, respect the people, love this country, love this nation, honor this country, honor the nation, why don't you just shut up and do it? And then that way nobody can call eyes on you. Stop being a drunk driver. Stop beating your wife. Stop being a child abuser. Stop raping. Stop murdering. Stop being a criminal. And the police don't have to look for you. There's a lot of illegal immigrants out there that I know that have their own business. I know, hey, I know. They're not supposed to. But I'm not calling ICE. I know that my American people, my American friends and family, don't hate me for saying that. I believe that everybody has a chance, to live in this country. But if they're not doing anything, like I get it, they already broke 3 laws to be here. But if they're good people, we hope they stay. Now, I'm not going to go call ICE, but if ICE ever comes for them, I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to sit out there with my phone and be, oh, hey, you stop it. This is unconstitutional. The most stupid things that I hear. Oh my God, they are disappearing people. What the hell? What are these people smoking? They're just kidnapping people and disappearing them. I feel bad because a lot of them are old people. They don't understand. Their mind is not all there. And all you suckers that don't support Trump, you probably were supporting Biden. And even though we all knew that he wasn't there, you still supported him. And I know a lot of freaks out there, they only support him for a certain benefit that they're getting. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but that's the truth. And that is the truth. And so, people can come in here, and I want a dialogue. I want you to tell me what's going on where you're from. I want to hear from you, and then let's talk about it. Let's share some information. There could be something that we have seen that we can interpret differently, but to come in here and just waste the time, it's not cool. All right, I'm gonna ignore the spam. I'm gonna ignore the spam so I can concentrate on real comments. Let's see. Metro says he thinks you need a license plate to vote. What? A license plate? Man, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Baby girl says, what's your level of education, bro? High school. High school graduate. Now, you can go ahead and make fun of that, but I'm going to tell you how I got my high school diploma, sucker. It wasn't for a lack of not wanting to go to college. So here's a little bit about my life that you get to know. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything, except where I live and where I work, because you guys are freaking crazy. And I don't want to have to use my Second Amendment to shut you up. When I was 16 years old, just finishing my my sophomore year, I punched my brother on the ribs. And I bruised his ribs, fell to the ground. First time I raised my hand at my elder brother. Now, the other reason why I did that is because, he was really bad. He hated me when I was a kid. I'm the last one of the family. He used to abuse me like you have no idea. Neighbors have yelled at my brother back in Honduras, not here in the States. But at that age, I was working out. I was doing martial arts. I was boxing. And so I don't know, that's what I like to do. But he tried to hit me with a belt, and I grabbed his arm. I said, hey, well, no, you're not doing that. Oh, you're real men now, he says. And then he comes and he goes like this, and I said, well, no. I said, you're my brother. I can't fight you, no matter how bad I wanted to hit him. And I said, no. And I start running. Unfortunately for me and for him, the front door was locked, so I couldn't get away. When he swung at me, he almost hit me on the chin. I ducked and I punched him one time. He fell to the ground. I went outside. When my mom came from work, she says, why are you out here? I said, I punched my brother because he tried to hit me and he tried to fight me. And my mother said, that's your older brother. You don't do that. And she took his side, even though she knew that he abused me really bad physically. And so I took off. I kind of ran away, so to speak. And my friend's girlfriend's parents let me stay with them. Now, I'm not going to tell you more details about that part of the life. All I got to tell you is that I was emancipated when I was 16 years old. Now, if you don't speak that much English, hey, Joshy, how you doing, brother? I know, man. It's always like that, bro. Don't worry about it. But it's good to see good people on here. I appreciate it. But I was emancipated at 16. If you don't know what that means that I don't need parents to sign for me. I am legally an 18-year-old at 16. That's really what that is. So I'm going to tell you something. And now part of it is ignorance in my senior year. I had a full scholarship to the University of Washington only because I was a great punter. I was a good punter because I was a great goalkeeper, and I kicked the ball off my hands, and I was very good at it. And by the time that I became a junior, by the first semester, I had lost my GPA of 3.9, almost 4.0, down to 3. And I had to go to work. So my schedule was from 7:05, 7:15 the school started, until 2:15, and then go to practice. From 5:30, I go to work, and I walk for 20 minutes. I start work at 6, got off at 11 at night, took another 20-minute walk to get home. I started doing my homework almost at midnight. I would be passing out by 2 a.m. I had to get up by 5:30 in the morning so that I can walk to school. Let me tell you something. Nobody gave me anything for free, except for 1023 Bobby. Them's in chat are racist as and they can't spell. I get it, brother, but you know what? Thank you for the support, Bobby. I appreciate you. But you know what? I'm making a point, okay? By the time I became a senior, I needed, so stupid, I needed 2 credits. That means all I needed to do was take 2 classes. But because I was ignorant, I still took 7 periods. Oh, I regret not knowing. I can't imagine if I would have just taken 2 periods, I would have had enough at least a couple hours of sleep extra, and I wouldn't have been overworked through my high school. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of parents, a lot of kids, that had a lot of parents. Give me 1 second. Let me read this before I lose you. Mr. Scribble says, General Manager at King's Constructions. I was. That was a business that some watermelon friends had, and I did manage for them for a little bit. Not much, but good job, Mr. Scribbles. That is me. You got that one right. I'm not gonna hide that. Wasn't my business, but I did help them out a lot, and that shows you. I'm not against immigrants. I helped them a lot, but you know, to each his own. And by the way, he was legal, so that's funny. Yes, I was a manager. I was very good, actually. But, you know, things changed and other things came up. But, you know, there was kids that were so talented and they'd rather spend their time smoking weed. You know, they have both parents. They had $130 Jordans, Air Jordans back in the high school. I had some Nikes that my mother bought me a long time ago, and I kept those for 2 years. $45 she paid. Hey, Democrat, says Bobby, EBT won't work for Super Chat. Shut the hell up. That's what he's saying. That is the first time, bro, you got tears in my eyes. That's the first time that I have ever read that on the chat. Democrats, EBT won't work for Super Chats. Oh, man, I love it. Thank you for that. But you know that these guys that had 2 parents, they didn't graduate. They dropped out. They dropped out. And when I went to graduate by myself, as always, on my senior prom football game, I was crying under my helmet. I didn't want to take it off because I was crying. And the only parents that I had at my football senior prom day was my coaches. That was it. But I still graduated with a C average, with a 2.03 average. Now people can say, oh, this guy was dumb. Let me tell you my classes. And yes, I did fail my second semester of calculus. But that's because I put things backwards sometimes when I translate from Spanish. I had a chemistry class. I was an A+ student on my trigonometry class. Chemistry, I was an A student. In my math, my regular math, I was always good at math, but trigonometry was the highest, and calculus was the next level after trigonometry, and I failed that on my second semester. I just kept putting the numbers on the wrong type of formula. But dude, those are not easy classes. I took American history. I took world history, 3 years. I took 5 years of French. I don't speak French, but if I would have gone to France, I would have spoken some type of French. I know some words, right? But I can't carry a full conversation like I can do it in Spanish or in English. But that was me. And then, of course, I had elective classes that I didn't need. I didn't have to do them. And it was rough. It was rough. But the point is that I graduated from high school. And it wasn't easy. It was harder than anybody else out there. And I'm going to say, if you want to bring races into this, I saw a lot of white people, a lot of black people, even Hispanics, right? A lot of Hispanics that, man, they have both parents. They drove cars to high school. I didn't. They drove cars to high school. They didn't have to work. They had everything. You know, I wore the uniform that they gave me. That was it. The other guys, you know, they had the sweatbands, the headbands. They got the little spandex, underwear, the leggings, the elbow protectors, and all this extra padding. And, you know, it was all Hilux, right? Tim Rambo was actually a second-string quarterback in high school. And, yes, he took my position. I was just a punter. Nobody cares about the kickers. But I do, because I was really good. But anyway, you know what? That's my humble life. You can make fun of it. And yes, I did live in those places that you put it down there, bro. But I'm not sure why you're trying to make my information public. I don't understand why you're doing that. I mean, it looks like you're trying to cause trouble. But yeah, my information is public, man. Anybody can do that shit. All I'm saying is this, though. If you keep doing that, bro, I'm going to have to report you. So I don't appreciate that. Yeah, everybody else, thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate that support. You know, sometimes I think that these trolls, they come in here and try to take you off the subject. But the story time, you know, my channel is about politics, religion, and there is going to be some story time. So, whatever. Mr. Scribbles, you, sir, are a saint, says Earl Floyd. You're not related to the drug addict, are you? Yeah, you know how that goes. Leo Rivera says, and now your APA Trumpitas is going to make you life better. You know what? He did. There is no taxes on my overtime. And they also took away the taxes on tips. Isn't that great? And he also took taxes, no more taxes for senior citizens' retirement checks. Why didn't anybody think about that before? Maybe they just needed Trump. You guys didn't say anything when the Democrats for the last couple of decades were getting rid of our manufacturing jobs. The steel workers, the car builders, all that stuff. We used to have a company, a manufacturer that used to make capacitors, transistors, resistors here in the United States. Now we're bringing them from Taiwan, from China. We're bringing them from other countries. I get it. You save money, but you're not helping this country. You want to go ahead and play the lotto? That's great. You can do that too, but don't mean it's going to happen. That's all I got to say. Is that you got to be appreciative of where you're at. If you're in this country and you don't appreciate it, I don't know what to tell you. Besides, go live wherever the hell you want to live. But at least respect the American people that are trying to do something for themselves. We had over 1 million illegal immigrants with benefits. And yes, they're not supposed to, but they are. Go figure. Let me tell you what happens when somebody steals your information. Mr. Scribbles, whenever you want to meet, let me know, bro. There's something I can do for you, let me know. Oh, man, I am so patriotic, bro, and I exercise all my rights. And the Constitution, I believe in the Constitution. Some people misrepresent it, some people misunderstand it, but I know the Constitution. So that's all I gotta say, man. If you're gonna do something, I don't think that's cool that you're saying something. If you were being nice to me, I would take it a different way. but you're being a jerk, so I can only take that as a threat. And I don't think that's cool, bro. Don't go that way, please. I try to be nice to everybody. Luis wants to know where you live, Scribbles. 3-hour radius, northeast. Well, it can be east. It can be west, because then we go to the. We don't have that many miles at 3 hours. South, west, or north. Interesting. Anyways, I want you to ask me questions about D.C. What do you guys think about Washington, D.C.? What's going on over there? We're in Washington State. David, who needs to go back to El Salvador? That's my neighbors. My neighbors are El Salvador. And Leo, I want you to tell me exactly what do you think a white man is? What do you consider white? What do you think that I'm trying to be white? Are you stupid or something? That's right, Luis Catracho. People that are ignorant that say that I'm trying to be white are very ignorant. I don't understand why you guys do that. Yes, Luis, that's right. David said the same thing. I guess. I agree with that, I guess. 5 Central American countries, we have the same color flags. Sure, I can see that. Bobby is correcting you, bro. You don't know how to spell in English? You like to make fun of my accent, but you don't know how to write in English, huh? Yeah, I see a lot of you guys' comments on my shorts or my videos, making fun of the things that I say, and then you guys don't have any good grammar at all. But here's some news. Donald Trump was being accused by some crazy Letitia James, and they were trying to get $500+ million off of him. Today we find that he won and they got the charges dropped. That's another negative for you Trump haters. Just thought I'd bring in some more love. And let's see. Resignation seemed likely. Economist predicts investigation of Trump's $600 billion fail. I love the MSN News. They just know how to put titles on there. Let's see. White House suspends public tours for Trump's ballroom construction. Yeah, that's that's very generous. That's very keeping safety in mind. It's disturbing. Trump faces backlash as ICE arrests go viral across the country. Well, I will say that, these people know how to how to destroy a country. They come from a country where they have been destroying, and that country is happy that they left, and they come over here and try to destroy this one. So I gotta say to you, whoever my patriots are, American patriots over here, if you have been supporting illegal immigration, I'll say stop supporting illegal immigration. These people don't care about you. These people don't care if you run out of housing, as long as they get what they want. That's how that works. Isabella, are you an Antifa member? You talk like an Antifa. I know the demons that you have. And I rebuke them in the name of Jesus Christ right now. You are full of demons. Yeah, you're not a happy person. I can tell. Man, I'm going to tell you something, man. America is in trouble. America is in trouble. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I wanted to talk about Washington, D.C., and I wanted to honor our National Guard because I think that they are doing a great job. Omar, I'm not sure if you're still in there, but thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for the love. We're going to ignore these fools over here because they're demonic. I do appreciate every migrant that comes to this country legally and appreciates this country. I know a lot of Honduran people that work hard, are good people, are actually part of the system in this country, and they actually are very good citizens, very patriotic as they were taught in Honduras. And I'm sure there's a lot of countries that have a lot of good patriots like that, but unfortunately, we also, with all the food and the leftovers, there's always rats and cockroaches that invade the property sometimes. But you just gotta fumigate it and keep it clean. Keep the garbage out. Putin is making news. This guy just doesn't get it. Putin just hit an American business in Ukraine. Let me see what Trump says. I think this is a video though. Let me see if I can find the actual words. I can't believe I didn't see this video yet. But Trump went off. Let me see. Yep, Trump went off on Putin. I don't know if he's going to do anything, to be honest. I am not sure. So I want to see the people that actually got on my started doing some comments on my shorts or my videos. Bobby, thank you so much, man. It's really, these people, they really are toxic. Much love, brother. Luis G has toxicity from not changing his tampon. He must be related to Tampon Tim. He's bleeding too much, man. He's bleeding too much. Mr. Scribbles. You got old addresses, my friend. All those addresses are old. See, these guys are Antifa, man. This is what they do. These are the criminals that we need to get rid of in this country. Miguel says, hey, you ever want to come over to Hawaii, brother? Let me know. Hey, Miguel, how is Hawaii, man? How is Hawaii? Because I heard it was expensive over there. But I do know a lot of good people from Hawaii. E. Herrera says they got nothing going on in life except hating Trump. Man, Trump lives in your little brains, man. Whatever little brain you have, that's where he lives. He's made a mansion in that little brain. Yeah, no, Luis, you can't take it. You can't wipe that off, not even with lemon, bro. Not even with lemon juice, you can't take that off. Just take it like a man, bro. Take it like a man. Go visit your best buddy, Diddy. I'm sure he still has enough oil left over. Even though he's in jail, you can go to his place. There's still a lot of baby oil there for you. They can't hang, man. Now, obviously, I am trying to make videos to communicate with you guys, and believe it or not, man, there is some minors out there listening to it. So, man, it's sad because it's not that they get blocked from watching and listening to stuff, and you guys are over here just, oh man, what a shame! What a shame! I think that I'm going to have to start blocking people, even though these trolls are actually pretty funny sometimes. I don't think it's a good thing to have them say all those nasty things and threatening, threats and all that stuff because, when you start threatening my family, I don't appreciate that. So you better watch yourself, Scribbles. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to report your ass. I don't appreciate that. You think it might be funny, but that you crossed the line on that one. And I know that a lot of American people, a lot of patriots that have joined my channel, they give me their support, they give me the love, but I don't appreciate that. You crossed the line. I think we got rid of Scribbles already. What a loser. And you guys, It's a big example right there. This is what happens when you support illegal immigration. You can't feel safe in your home. You just can't. And it makes other Hispanics look bad. Yeah, I don't know those people. Yeah. All right, we're going to hide scribbles from the chat. I guess that's how we're going to do it. Sam Ramirez says, chupas chalupas. We're going to give that one to Scribbles. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. You have every right. This is a chat where you can have freedom of speech, but guys, any type of racism, I will not tolerate. Any type of threats to my family, I don't appreciate, and as such, they won't be tolerated as well. Luis G, I think you are part of the problem there, so I think we're going to have to get rid of you as well. So let's do that. Bye, Luis. Thanks for stopping by. So you see that language, guys, when they say Paisa, drop your location? That's not a good person. That's a really bad person. That's a really bad person. Man, that's crazy. But anywho, this is why you don't want to support illegal immigration. And these people just make my point. I didn't get that. Samuel El Barajas. I'll take that, bro. I am panzón right now. Working on it. No, panzón. You know what panzón means, right? It means big belly guy. We're working on it. At least he was nice and showed me some support when he said that, so I'm okay. Jill wants all illegal immigrants out. As you should. Oh, Errol, I think Errol says, what makes you patriotic? Please respond. A patriotic person is a person that is a law-abiding citizen, a person that is a, I will add, but I don't see the name. Once your name pops up in here again, Ed, I'll go ahead and do that. I got a moderator over here. My wife is always listening to me. Let's see, where are you? Give me 1 second. I'll answer the question about a patriot. If you guys don't know what that is, I talk about this all the time. There you go, Bobby. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And where is Ed? Man, so much junk. Ed, send me a message real quick. If you're still in here. I know, these guys are very toxic. They actually really ruined the conversation. Let me see. Mr. Brad says that ain't paying $500 million to letting. What do you mean? All right, Earl, here we go. A patriot. It's a law-abiding citizen. Bobby's gonna clean the racists out. He's gonna moderate all these people that are just blasting negative stuff. It is a freedom of speech, guys. You can say stuff to me, that's okay, but just come on, don't cross the line, okay? Threats or racist stuff, I don't appreciate. Even though I'm not black, I don't want to hear bad things about black people, Asians, or anybody else. Okay, I want everybody to have fun, laugh, and make jokes. But when you cross the line, you got to go. All right, patriot for you, Errol. Law-abiding citizen, a person that will die for this country and its people, whether they're good or bad. A person that respects and honors its country. That's who I think a patriot is. If you want to look at the definition of patriot, we can look at the definition of patriot. And let's see what it says. Patriot meaning. In English, why would I want it in a different language? A person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. There you go. I think my meaning is better. I think my meaning is a lot more meaning. Guero de Laredo says, erase your last name. What? Whose last name? My last name? No, what for? I'm proud of my last name. Tita, let's see. Protected speech can be outlawed if it constitutes a true threat, incites violence, or falls into another category of unprotected speech. I will agree with it, but the freedom of speech here in America, you can threaten anybody, I guess, but not directly. Like, for example, in New York, there was a Muslim guy holding a sign saying, "Death to America." The police officers were right next to him. They didn't arrest him. So I think, that they can say whatever they want. But you're right. I agree with that interpretation of what you said. But we should be able to say words as long as we're not with intent. Like the guy that got kicked from here, he's putting out there all the addresses that I've been to. He's throwing a lot of innocent people's names out there that have nothing to do with me, blah, blah, blah. And that's not cool. You're putting people's lives in danger when you do stupid shit like that. And, anybody that tells you to go off yourself, that's Antifa. That's what they do. This is what they tell people when they go to this protest and they're doing their riots. Whenever the good patriotic Americans that actually respect the law and go and protest against them protesting, that's what they tell them. Why don't you off yourself and do a world a favor? They go to old people and they beat them up. They have no respect for our senior citizens. These people are crazy. No, I have no respect for Antifa. Funk that. This is why I wanted the National Guard over here when Donald Trump sent it over here to Seattle. Bob Ferguson didn't want it. But I know that if it's an emergency, we will have it. Antifa should be in jail. They should be a terrorist group. These people, they don't go protest Antifa, right? They don't go hate on criminals. But the moment that the National Guard shows up, which are not criminals, which are patriots, which are people that are willing to die for this country, and the police, then they go protest. I don't understand. See, well, I do understand. I just don't get it. Like, why does evil prevail so much? I mean, I get it. We're sinners. I get it. We're failing God, but it's like there's a lot of us that want something good for this country. And, let's see. Arthur says you have no facts. So tell me, Arthur, what I'm wrong on. When you see protesters out there, tell me something. I've seen these mofos in person. I'm telling you from experience. Arthur says you have no facts, so you're wrong. Okay, what's the facts? Give me some facts. Tell me something that I'm wrong on, and that's what I want. I want to be able to talk about it. So you want to contradict me on something, give me your points. Let's go. He didn't release the Epstein files because the only people that would be compromised is not Trump. It's all of them. The corrupted politicians. All of them. And I say all of them because they have each other's back. It doesn't matter how bad they are, they have each other's back. Just like Antifa. It doesn't matter how bad they are, some leave the Antifa group. But most of them are there because they don't know. criminal activities, I guess, attracts these guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's wrong with that. All right, let's see. Tiata says, invasion of privacy is the infringement on a person's right to be free from unauthorized intrusions into their private life. I agree, 100%, which can lead to civil lawsuits for damages. It encompasses several types. It does. I agree with that. I think I'm a little bit too flexible with people, and I agree with that. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you. Much love to you. Let's see. Arthur says Biden will never have released the files. Of course he would have never released the files. Who knows? Maybe he's in there. Remember, he's the one sniffing all the little kids, sniffing the women's hair, making all those females uncomfortable during press conferences, during awards ceremonies. He's over there sniffing little kids, talking about the children used to jump on his lap and they will play with his hairs, and in the sun they will turn yellow from the sunlight, you know, and all this stuff. Yeah, that's the one you defend, but Trump is the pedophile. Yeah, of course. The grandparent that actually teaches the kids, don't do drugs, don't smoke, be smart, go to school, learn something for yourself. Yeah, that's the pedophile right there. You're right. Errol says, I am 100% disabled vet. I believe in America and its potential. Calling people Antifa or asking if I'm related to the drug user don't move conversation the way I think you want to. Earl, the reason why I say that is because I don't know if you saw it on the chat, but they're telling me to go off myself to make this world a better place. That's Antifa. So I hope you're not Antifa. If you're a veteran, I believe that at some point you were a patriot. And if you still believe in what you did before you went to war and got disabled, you are still a patriot. As a veteran, I say thank you for your service, but don't join this kind of people. This kind of people are the opposite of what you were before you went to enlist. Nancy says, January 6th, what about that? I think January 6th was fake. I don't know why these videos are not out there anymore. But January 6th, let me tell you what I saw on January 6th. I saw a video of the police officers. Oh, by the way, I think they got a pardon from the digital pen. Go look it up on their website. Who did Joe Biden pardon? And you're going to see a list. All the officers, all the police officers cannot be investigated from the January 6th event. Why? What did they do? Why would they not be able, why would they need a pardon, number one? People that need pardons are people that have committed a crime, or maybe they were judged unjustly, and the president can pardon them. The president cannot pardon future sins or future criminal activity. These police officers from January 6th were pardoned, all of them, by Joe Biden. The digital pen is fake. I saw the video when they were telling the people to come inside. You can see a video of the officer guiding them this way. And then all of a sudden, boom, some lady gets shot in the face. An officer said it was self-defense. And what happens? Here's the footage that you see. Now the people are coming in, breaking through the door, breaking through the glass. What the hell is going on? Blah, blah, blah. This is the commotion. And what a freaking setup. These cowards locked themselves in that room. Oh my God, the terror. Shut the hell up. Donald Trump said, I will give you 10,000 National Guard troops so that you can protect the place where you're going to gather for this stuff. She said, no. And then people said, no, she didn't. Oh, there's a recording of her saying, no, I denied it. That was my fault. That shouldn't have happened. That was Nancy Pelosi's voice and her lips, and that was her in her car with her driver and her staff. So you can see January 6th the way that they showed you, and what I mean by they, I mean Democrat corrupted politicians. And let's make it clear, Democrats are not Democrats anymore. They are communists, and they don't give a shit about you or me. Let's make that clear. I am trying to be nice to everybody, but if you're going to try to find the side of me that you don't want, you're going to find it. But what I'm telling you is a fact. As a matter of fact, there was other videos back then when this happened. FBI agents were disguised. FBI agents, not just civilians. FBI agents disguised as Trumpsters. They were over there saying bad things to call out so that the people start chanting. Our own corrupted FBI, the CIA, is also involved. And mark my words, these people will pay because the truth cannot be hidden forever. So you lunatics that support the corrupted Democratic Communist Party right now, you will see that what we as patriots are saying is the truth. And even then, I have a feeling that you still won't believe it. You will still not accept it because that's who you are in nature. I can pray for you day and night. You will not change. I don't know. I don't know if you can change. But by your actions, after all the facts, all the truth, we see the video live of what the president says, what the NATO says, what Putin says, what everybody else is saying right there live, and then you believe the lie that MSNBC and CNN tell you. I don't get it. I don't get it. Man, we're trying to make peace. It's not our job, but we're trying to make peace between Russia and Ukraine. And the reporters, are you going to stop killing innocent children? What the hell kind of question is that? That's not the time to ask that question. That question you ask when there is something that cannot be done about it. You ask these things from the president, and he has to do something to take care of it. See, Vladimir Putin, he knows that if he messes with Trump, he will pull that trigger like we did with Iran. He doesn't play, and he will fight for this country. We don't want war, but if we have to, we will. And let me tell you something. History might just repeat itself. If you're a Democrat, the Republicans will kick your ass again. That's the Union. That's the North. Let's not forget that. Democrats are the Southern Party, the party of slaves, the party that created the KKK, the party that has always oppressed our people. They don't care about the freedom for people. In some point in history, they switched and they became a good party. And I supported that good party, but they went back to the hateful people. They don't care about American life. They just care about themselves and about making money for themselves and their family. They don't care about you or me. They are happy that you and I are fighting. They are happy that you guys are over there committing violence and riots and destruction. Very few patriots out there. Very few. Nancy, what are you talking about? Ask a legit question. Oh man, I got some help tonight. You fools won't get away with it this time. Arthur, facts are facts, period. 100%. Thank you, Bobby. Doing a good job, brother. Oh man, I missed so many comments in here. Let's see. ICE doesn't deport legal citizens. Yes, correct. That's a fact. Although I've seen some citizens with fake papers, fake citizen papers. Love watching his tiny brain break mid-sentence. You talking about Biden again? He's the one that couldn't get a sentence out. Okay, stop with all the caps, Jill. Otherwise, I think Bobby might have to block you or kick you. ICE only deports illegals. Fact. It can't deport anybody else. Only illegals can be deported. Damn, Bobby's pretty good. Oh, man. Someone come get their immigrant uncle. Sober mind. Sober mind. Welcome back to the chat, you crazy fool. There's nothing wrong with immigrants when they do it legally, and that's exactly what we talk about. We love immigrants, but they got to come here legally, man. That's just it. Just chill. Let's see. Michael, quit it saying what? Quit it saying you sound silly. Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys' support. Thank you for that. Let's see. Jill says it's a serious question. What question did you ask, Jill? The New Deal policy significantly impacted the Republicans and Democratic parties, leading to a major political realignment. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't follow all of everything on there, but I can see that. I mean, there was some bad stuff that happened back there as well. And let's not forget our theory about JFK assassination, right? Well, who was the president that took over? You guys remember his name? Yeah, the whole situation with JFK is still something that some of us want to hear some more about, because we believe that it was an actual government thing, inside job, if you know what I mean. Let's see. Nope, I'm just a person that agrees with most of the things this guy says. Therefore, I will try to support him by removing negativity and racism from this comment section. That's right. Bobby is a moderator, so if you guys didn't know that. So, and I see a lot of less hateful chat. I appreciate that. This guy is married. I am single. So your math isn't laughing. I got this stirring up the pot, but you have new outcome. That's right. So I think that we have a lot of conspiracy theories, but I don't like to talk about those too much. I will tell you this. Bill Clinton is in trouble. His wife is in trouble. I think the whole Clinton family is in trouble. And somebody needs to go audit all the money that they supposedly have been collecting through their fund. Let's see. How the heck was I going to know that anyway? But it's okay, Jill. You're not so bad. You're all right. You're asking good questions. Just not what we're talking about today. Today, I want to hear more about what you guys think about Washington, D.C. There's some people that for some reason, they just hate our National Guard. They don't understand that these are the same people that will die for us. If war was to break out, these guys also get deployed. If there was an invasion, these guys will be the ones on the street. Get used to it. As I said before at the beginning of this chat, of this live, I said, respect them, honor them, make them feel comfortable, thank them for doing their job. It's not permanent. It's temporary. Don't support criminals. These guys are not only helping the police make arrests, they are also literally cleaning DC. They're getting rid of garbage. They're trying to help the homeless find a different place, some help for them. They're removing graffiti. They're doing some paint. They're doing a lot of stuff, man. Don't make their jobs harder than it is. Khalid says, where did you get your knowledge from? Which one? History you learn in books. I learned world history, American history. I don't know everything about presidents and all the history, but I know history about the American-Mexican War. I know some history from Mexico, some of the revolutionary heroes, some from my country. I know Spaniards history. I know the settlers history. I know how the white men came here into the Americas. I know the native history. All that stuff is what I learned. Any news that I share with you today is things that I watch through CNN, Fox. I like Fox. Fox seems to be more on the dot on what they say, because everything that they say, it's what we want as American citizens. We want peace. We want prosperity. We want safety. We want protection. Democrats don't want that. So that's the problem. So if you're asking me where I get my knowledge, I mean, you have to be more specific. Plus, there's a lot of great patriots out there that are sharing information like I am with you. Bobby not some. He's over here helping me out because he sees that I'm outnumbered, one to however many we had. You know, you're supposed to come in here and make conversation, guys. That you know, bring some good arguments, not just insults. That doesn't help. JFK was absolutely a government job. I believe that, man. But I mean, do we really care at this point? I mean, is that something that we want to spend millions of dollars on investigating? Maybe. Let's not forget that they tried to shoot Trump and they actually hit him on the ear, right? So maybe we should look into JFK's assassination because if that's an internal government thing. The swamp was not just Congress. That means that the FBI, CIA, they're all dirty. They gotta vet these people. They gotta vet them. The more you care, the more you will want to learn. That's correct, Bobby. You know, when I met my wife, I met her brothers first. When I met him, I thought they were Mexican. I kept speaking Spanish to them, and they would just say, yeah, you know, whatever. But then I found out, like, their mom is talking to them. I was like, what the hell? I don't understand what she's saying. She's talking she's weird. And then I got closer, and I was like, wait, where are you guys from? You're not Mexican, are you? He's like, no. I said, why? I'm talking Spanish to you all this time. Why were you saying yes to everything I said? Well, I learned that they were Samoan, and I really liked the kids. I met my wife, her sister, and the mom. They, you know, the way they got together, and they'll do prayers of family, all this stuff, right? So I liked it so much. I went and I learned history, Samoan history, and I learned all their cultural ways. And you know, some Samoans say I know more than they do because they don't practice it, but you know, they have a good culture that I feel that if it's managed correctly, it's a very good thing to have. But if somebody gets greedy or, you know, power hungry, or they think they're all that and they don't care about their people, then, you know, it's the same thing as in this country. If we have a leader that cares about the people and that cares about this country, of course I'm going to support it, you know. And if it's something to where, like, if the leader is bad and they don't care about the people, well, we're seeing it right now. We're seeing how the borders were just wide open. 21 million illegal immigrants, guys. It's not 100,000. 21 million illegal immigrants is the population of 34 states. It's an invasion. It's an invasion. It's not just a migration. Mass migration is bad for any single country that you can think of. It's bad. And they can hate us. Look at it. We are overwhelmed by the numbers. Like, you can't beat these guys. We can only trust that President Trump, ICE, Holman, that they will get most of these people out of here so that we can take control of our country again. And Democrats, they're the gas that keeps fueling the fire. They're not helping the United States. Whenever somebody has the guts to ask them a fair question, they brush it off. That's crazy. So, you know, that's the whole thing about this live chat. Even though I think the trolls actually took everybody offline, to be honest. We have like 30-something people on. And that's okay. Bobby, I appreciate you, man, with the moderation. You did a great job. We'll see how long we can stay on here. Normally I end by 7, but if we get more people in here, I really want to hear some more opinions about the National Guard in D.C. And if anybody wants to know about Bill Clinton's visit to the island. Dylan says, Earl, yes, they just have terrible judgment. I was a lib until Trump. I wasn't evil, just dumb. That is correct, Dylan. And that's, man, you know, I try to always specify, right, that I don't mean Democrats, because there's a lot of loyalism. I understand that. But what I always try to differentiate, that is the corrupted Democrat politicians They're no longer Democrats. They're just not. The Democrats have died a long time ago. It's a whole different party. And communists have taken over. Look how obvious they are. The Mandani, right, from New York, the guy that's running for mayor, he is a full Marxist communist. And a lot of Democrats support them. Why would they support a communist? Well, because they're communists themselves. Why would they support Venezuela? Maduro? Because they're communists themselves. You know, the only reason why they let Russia attack Ukraine is because they're also communists themselves. They didn't fight Russia or anything when they were in power, right? Now President Trump is making some deals, trying to make things better. But that's how it is. Marxists are the ones that change the view and outcome of what things are. Like, for example, if something is good, Marxists will make you think that's bad. And if something is bad, Marxists will convince you that that's good. And this is why you have a lot of Antifa rioters out there. They think they have a good cause, but they don't understand that they're being terrorists, because they are destroying our city. They are beating up our elder people. No, that's not acceptable. I don't agree with anything that they do. Dylan is a Jill. Bobby will have to block 60% of the chatters. Isn't that the current disapproval rate? No, it's not. That's for your party. If you're Jill, if you're still a Democrat, I mean, you need to listen to Dylan. Errol Floyd, let's see. Bobby, I'm asking because all I hear is insults when someone disagrees. Demons, pedos, or as Dylan just said, dumb. So I try to answer questions, Earl, but my responses are to those people that were threatening me. I don't know if you saw that, and I don't appreciate that. So, I had my encounters with Antifa before. They're not good people, man. They're not nice people. They try to instigate, and they will beat the crap out of you senseless. And you don't know them. And they try to shit on me that's not gonna fly. I fight better when there's a group of people, to be honest. One-on-one, you might have a chance. Might. Good luck. Let's see. Nancy Rodriguez says, yeah, down for voting for Trump. Nancy, thanks to us, you are in a good country. If it wasn't for us, you'd be suffering right now. We are trying to save this country as much as we can before you locusts destroy it. Why do I say that? Earl Floyd, why do you think that? Why would I call somebody demons? Well, they're calling us pedos. So why would I call them that? Or are you saying that I'm saying that, or that they are saying that? Go ahead and clarify that so I can actually respond the right way. It's an imperialist, says Jill. You don't know what an imperialist is, do you? Let's see what an imperialist is. Let's find out. Imperialist. You must be talking about China. The policy or practice of extending a nation's power and dominion, often through territorial acquisition or gaining political and economic control over the other areas. So who's an imperialism? Not Trump. Not Trump. Now, if it was somebody like President Xi, I will agree with you. President Xi has killed millions of people, and so has his predecessors. It can also describe nations or systems related to the control of one country over others, typically after military conquest. That's why you think he's an imperialist? Because of the military? That's our military. We want the military there. So now what? Am I an imperialist as well? If Trump is doing this because that's what we asked for. If the governors are not doing their job, well, the president might as well step in, and we support it 100%. I have only removed 2 comments. I have banned nobody. Good job, Bobby. I have reported and banned a couple of them because they were threatening my life and my family, and that's not cool. You see the difference between us, Republicans, and the bad Democrats? You guys resort to violence. You guys resort to insults and tantrums and hate. And sometimes you get that reaction from us, but that's a reaction. See, your action has a reaction. Your bad decisions have consequences. And that's what you get. But we don't start anything. Nancy is not Mexican. Her husband is Mexican. Take a look at that profile, Nancy. Nancy White. But your husband is white too. How are you? How is your last name Rodriguez? So I'm going to assume that Nancy is a Democrat. It's okay. Nobody's perfect. Oh, I thought about January 6th. Did you not hear about what I said about January 6th? It was a setup. It was a setup by the Democrats. And it will come to light. You'll see. It'll come to light. Better later than nothing. It will come to light. They have spent so many hours burning documents, video feeds. They don't show you everything. Believe me, I seen the video with the FBI badge, pretending to be a Trump supporter, and then I saw the police inside the house, letting them in, even guiding them to come in. And then somebody, one of the police officers in there, some jackass, shot a lady inside. And that's why everybody started breaking windows and started acting up. I saw all that as it's happening before they started hiding shit. You've been lied to. And if your husband died on January 6th, I'm sorry, but it wasn't Trump. It wasn't the Republicans. You can blame Democrats for that. Ray Epps was definitely a Fed. Your definition of imperialism literally described the last 7 months of Biden's administration. And not only that, but this whole redistricting in California. What do you call that? I get it that they did it in Texas. But you know what I heard from the hearing? Number one, they were gone for 18 days. They abandoned their duties. They should be in jail. They're lucky they didn't go to jail. Number two, anything that they try to argue, it's like, oh, so you redistricted, so you're taking the Hispanics and the blacks. That's a racist thing. Wait, what? Wait, what? That's a racist. That's what you did. So does that mean that you're a black lady and you're racist towards your own black people and Hispanics? Because that's what it seemed like. California is a Democrat state because redistricting, because of what they have right now. They got more money, and they say, oh, we give billions more than Texas. Yeah, and you're also abusing illegal immigrants' labor. You are literally a slave owner, new scum. You should live a reaction video to the last Liberty Hangout video. Liberty Hangout. Is that the blonde chick? All right, Bobby. Thanks, man. I appreciate your help, brother. Hi, Timothy. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. You know, we have been live for so long, guys. We have been live for so long. And Democrats have been behind it. I don't know why. We thought we got rid of communists, but we didn't. They became the new Democratic Party. Nancy, your ancestor had slaves. You know who didn't have slaves? President Donald Trump. So you think that you should be paying reparations to black people, Nancy? That's it. Yeah, we got 10 more minutes. So Nancy, are you paying reparations to the black people? Before you answer that, let me give you a little bit of facts. About 2% or less of Americans own slaves. One of the richest slave or men that was a slave owner in the United States was a black man, not a white man. A free black woman bought herself a black slave man, had a child with this man. The child grew up, and the father tried to discipline him. The free son didn't like it. And the free black woman took her slave black husband to court. And guess what happened? They put his ass in jail. Now, you mentioned slaves, I'm not sure why, but today and age, what people don't talk about is that blacks also owned slaves. And having 2% of Americans owning slaves, what was the population back then? There was 200,000 slaves on this country from Africa. And let's not forget how they got here. They got here because Thomas Jefferson went over there to Africa to defeat the African pirates to free American slaves from Africa. And then took African slaves to come to the United States. And the people that wanted to come to the United States as slaves was because when there were slaves over there, they were mutilating their females. And anybody that was born there was born into slavery, which didn't happen here in the United States of America. Now, the second thing that people don't talk about, it was the white men that sacrificed their lives to free the black man. Nobody talks about that. Why is that? Why is Trump against the Smithsonian, the museum? Because they talk about all this atrocity of slavery. Because it's all to make the white people look bad. But black people also own slaves. So where are we at? Let me see. Your guy, Epstein, talk about Epstein. I have talked about Epstein, but we'll talk about it. We'll see. We went down to like 30 people. So we're about to cut the chat unless we get more people in here. Tiata says, the Nigerian slave trade was a multifaceted and deeply impactful phenomenon that involved both internal slavery systems predating European arrival and the significant involvement of various Nigerian. And then the other thing is that Africans actually enslaved white people. How's that? They enslaved white people before we had enslaved black people over here. You know what else has happened in Americas? My ancestors used to kill us to the gods if the crops were not good. We were slaves to our own leaders. And then we were slaves to Spaniards. That was just a way of life. That's power. We don't have slaves here in America. And yet people still hate the United States of America. They hate white people. Most of the bad ones. A lot of black people are educated and they don't do that. But in Africa, we still have slaves. Nobody says anything about the slaves in Africa, but damn the white man in America, because there was a slave sometime. Couple hundred years ago, there were slaves. So we got to keep reliving it every day. Over 200 years of slavery. Oh, the slavery. Shut the hell up. You guys were never slaves. How long do these people get to live? You get to live 225 years? God dang. If you live that long, I believe you. You don't know what slavery is. And a lot of the black people that we have here today were not here during slave times. They're not even descendants of slaves here in America. They come from Gambia, they come from Kenya, they come from all over Africa still, even after the black man was free in America. And this is the blacks that you see on the street today. You got Cubans that are also black. You got Dominican Republicans that are also black. You got people from the Caribbean, from Jamaica that are also black. And they've never been here through slavery and yet hate the white man. How is it the white man's fault? You see where my problem ends? That's where it starts, right there. I don't like anything that is not fair, that is not just. 68% more white slaves throughout history. And yet the white man is guilty, right? I just moved across the country last month and escaped California, LA, says KT. LA is a third world country. KT, sorry to hear that. I live in Cali for a few years, guys. I know the poor areas, but I still love it down there. And it's just so hard to hear that instead of them fixing the problem, they're just making it worse. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of Americans are going to move to other states. And all California is going to be Mexicans. That's what they want. And that's probably what they're going to have. Now, the bad thing about it is, man, sometimes I feel like it's inevitable that we're going to have another war here in the States. I don't know. We have 21 million illegal immigrants, and I think most of them stayed in California. Hotboy True says, get out of our country. I say anybody that doesn't love, respect this country, or honor it, should leave. There are American-born citizens that shouldn't be here. They just don't deserve it. Unfortunately, the rain falls over the good and the evil. And some of these people, even though they have no respect, well, they get some of the blessings from everybody else that makes sacrifices for this land. The decisions made by the people no longer alive should not have their choices relevant to anything. Leave, just like that comment. That's right, Bobby. But there are some things that we have written from our ancestors, like the Founders' Fathers, the Constitution. And I can't believe that our Supreme Court translates the Constitution for everybody in the world. The Constitution was made for American citizens, the ones that had the right to vote. And yes, those were only white people. But eventually black people got the right to vote. And they're also now part of the United States of America, and they are the people because they can vote. And then we have the women. They fought for it, and a lot of the majority of men and white people thought, hey, women should have the right. I love my wife, so she has the same rights as I do. And well, now we have Americans, men and women, that can vote. But that doesn't mean that we're going to start allowing resident green card aliens to vote. They're not citizens. They are not the people. They only benefit because of the people. That's just what I think about the Constitution. And when it talks about, persons, it's because they don't always want to say men and women. Persons includes both males and females. It's just like saying people. English has changed as well. I mean, you can call me gay, and I'm like, yeah, I am pretty gay. And then you will think it's something else. But no, it's not. Gay just means happy. The word faggot is a cigarette butt, right? But people use it to insult people. Richard, right? You know what I'm talking about. They use the different words to insult, but the fact is that persons is a word used for male and female or a group of people without having to mention gender. The Constitution is is a world-changing document, but it clearly needs some updates every 50 to 100 years. So what I mean by the Constitution is not made for the world. It's that is specifically for the United States of America. We the people of the United States of America, not of Mexico, not of Canada. And we have visitors. You know, if the rule applied and it couldn't be taken away from anything, right? If the rule applied, if you were born here and you were automatically a citizen, then when diplomats were here, they will also be citizens. You know, if it applied for foreigners, you know, and they had a baby here, they shouldn't be citizens just because they had the baby here. And sometimes they have a rule that if you're pregnant past this amount of months, you cannot travel because to avoid an anchor baby, right? There's rules for that. That makes sense. All right, guys, it's 7 o'clock. I think we had they almost succeeded, I guess, with this chat. I have had a lot more people on these chats, on these live chats. But when I don't have a moderator like Bobby, people get out of control and they just start saying things that they shouldn't. So we're going to call it for the night. Bobby, thank you for your help. I appreciate you. You're the best. Thank you so much for your help and for your support. During this time, as President Barack Obama's views on same-sex marriage evolved, culminating in his public support for it in May 2012. Yes. His shift was influenced by several factors, including, we will ignore the rest of that. My hope for the future of the human race is adaptation will be globally. Nations of everywhere will understand what works and doesn't work in regards to freedom and liberty. Well, you look what they're doing in the UK and the European countries because they didn't listen. They wanted to have open borders. And now they have more people that they're just, I know that some people don't like to hear the name, but they're like locusts. They just eat and destroy everything that's in their path, and they leave nothing for the actual people that are there. You know, so yeah, I know that some people don't want to hear that, but you know, it is what it is. KT just left Cali. Where did you go, KT? She is in a free state now, huh? Florida, huh? That's where I want to go. I want to go to Florida. But I've been in Washington State for most of my life, and I would just hate to just have to move over there, start over. I think the hardest thing for me, honestly, is thinking about starting a new career in a different state. Hot Boy says, I'm glad you left California. You made a stink. It smells better since you've been gone, KT. I'm sure that he's so jealous that he can't get even an ounce of a woman like Katie. With that being said, Bobby, thank you so much for your help. Katie, I wish you the best in your new home, in your new state. California, there's still hope for you. Hopefully the governor, oh man, I hope that you guys get a different governor, somebody that actually cares for the people and starts cleaning up that state. Guys, until next time, thank you so much for your support and for your likes and your subscribes. I appreciate you. Till next time, you all be good and have a good night. Be blessed.